Hi Soul Fam, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel, Spiritual Daosith. I am Daosith LeMay. I hope you're all doing good out there, Soul Fam, Soul Brothers and Sisters. And if you are new, welcome to my channel and thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch this video. I hope the message and the content resonate with you, and if they do, feel free to subscribe and check out my other social media platforms in the description box below. Also, if you haven't already done so, go get my book, Becoming the Creator, A Practical Guide to Spirituality and Connection. I think it has invaluable exercises and tools for you to utilize during these tumultuous times to help you align your personality mentally, emotionally, physically, etherically, so you can find more peace, joy, and love in your life. Find the connections and the relationships and the reason why you as the creator are creating your reality the way that you are. All right. So we are doing the July energy update here, hot off the heels of a very intense month of June 2023. Lots of events, lots of things occurred on the collective. And here are some headlines that I think were in synchronicity or alignment with what I was talking about in June. All right, we had Biden family and Hunter Biden have been in the news a lot lately, especially around Hunter Biden's laptop, about being found guilty and as much as a guilty sham that is, as well as money being wired from the CCP and the text messages through the WhatsApp app that Hunter Biden was sending, all bringing up this kind of interesting dialogue experience for all of us to see on the geopolitical or political spectrum. Certainly is another truth that's coming up. We also had a lot to do with the World Health Organization and the CDC. A lot of things that's been transpiring there around, I would say, the jab and other health things, especially with regards to the World Health Organization electing a representative from North Korea to their board. It's a little bit of a mind-boggling move, but look into that and see what sits with you in your own personal energy. I feel like that is just doesn't sit well with me, especially with regards to health. All right. We also had Russia clearly has been in the news a lot lately. One around a so-called Ukrainian bombing of a dam around nuclear facilities or nuclear power plants. Also, what about the Russia so-called one-day coup that occurred? It feels like that may, what we were seeing in the media and through Twitter sphere and all these other social media platforms, something for us to digest individually, but not to say for you to go out and to react so quickly to, but certainly some dynamics is happening in the geopolitical spectrum and especially around Russia. For you golfers out there, what about LIV and the PGA merging into one? Certainly has been hot topic for you sports fans out there in the golf world. Lots of fires happening in our neck of the woods here in New England, around Quebec in Canada. And an interesting note around that is that if you saw some of the satellite images, especially real time, you would see that a lot of the fires all synchronistically happened at once. I don't know many forest fires all happening at once, especially on clear days, but you saw all those fires occurring at once, in which we in the Northeast saw or experienced a lot of the particulates in the air pollution, etc., which was pretty much outlined and portrayed to us via the images in New York, where we saw the skyline and everything just completely foggy, yellowy, orange colored. All right, another big thing, another collective experience was UFOs, especially the event that happened in Vegas where people were actually witness to 8-foot beings crashing from their UFO, and was also supported by police in the area seeing something in the skies as well, a UFO landing or crashing into someone's backyard. UFOs will continue to be in the headline as we move forward. Be careful of what you put your energy and time into, especially with regarding to fear and what kind of hijacking that can occur with that energy. Also, Trump indictments, those have certainly been more and more pushed in the mass media, being arrested, and the indictments that came through for Trump and classified documents, etc. I don't know, many of you have heard about this, but Sam Bankman-Friedman, I can't remember his name, the guy who was the CEO for FTX, and I think this was quiet, his charges were all basically dropped from all the nefarious corruption and the things that occurred in that digital coin business that he had. Which also then relates to kind of like the Pentagon here. The Pentagon just came out recently and had another accounting error. But this case, it is a $2 billion accounting error. I work in the financial world, and any business that had an accounting error of $2 billion would have drastic changes and shifts and implications for that business. But yet the Pentagon can go ahead and say, oh yeah, we made an accounting error of $2 billion on top of like 3 other ones that have already occurred, and we're going to send more of that money to Ukraine, etc. Something to think about, something to be questioning for you and our collective reality as we move forward. Last few things here. We had the Schumann resonance anomaly. We are all seeing some of that in the social media with regards to the interesting, I would say, graphs and pictures that came out of the Schumann resonance lately. This is certainly in line with a little bit of the energies that have been picking up, but also perhaps may not be what everybody has been saying in the spiritual world, but it could be just a technical or a mechanical issue that caused that graph. But it is certainly coincidence in terms of a lot of the sun activity in the coronal mass ejections we've been having from the sun. So something to think about, something to filter through your energetic system as we continue to see more images around that, as well as what we're seeing from the sun. And the last thing we saw recently is the Titanic sub implosion that has kind of taken over like a wildfire in the main media, kind of almost like having a fun distraction from all the things that are actually truly important that's happening in our world. So lots of crazy things happening in June. Those are some of the headlines, and July will continue to be in that same manner because the numerology for this month is a 7. 7 is about seeking answers. It's about the truth. And I've always talked about it being kind of a loner and wants to spend time with itself, being alone, finding out the answers, trying to find higher consciousness, right? It's a little bit more intuitive, a little more analytical, intro perspective. And that's usually about spiritual things, higher esoteric energy and the truth. Now, the funny thing too is that we are dealing with a numerology of 7 for the year too. So we have a double 7, a 7-7 mastery number coming in. And that's really going to be about leading by example, not necessarily in a public manner or official manner, but the way you hold your energy, the way you hold yourself in the truth, in the higher spiritual vibrations that are going to be coming through this month is going to show you that nothing can hide. Nothing can hide in the dark, and what is needed will come forward, and you will feel it. You will feel it. It will be an undercurrent. It will be a vibration that is fighting to get to the surface for you to shift it around, to see the truth, to make changes that are in a better alignment for you going forward. Because a 7-7 breaks down to a 14, and that becomes a 5. That's all about shifts and changes. So this is going to be a potent month for sure around truth, around high spirituality, about ideology, about going inward, your intuition, and leading through your energy and how you hold yourself. And it's not going to be easy. It is not going to be an easy month because people are going to be forced to see things even though they don't want to. They're going to be confronted with the truth of who they are, what their reality is, and they're going to need to make changes. And that's going to play into a lot of the themes I'm going to be talking about energetically. Okay, so 7s is about the number. 7-7s are the numbers this month, and for sure it's going to be very intense with the undercurrent of the 5, which is all about change and shifts. Okay. So the astrology that's going to aid this numerology as we go forward is on July 3rd. We got the full moon in Capricorn. So we're going to start to see results of our actions over the last moon cycle, helping you see and guide you towards new heights, new successes, and you will certainly see what needs to be changed going forward. What worked, what didn't work, what you need to let go of, and what you need to start doing to move forward in towards your goals and your aspirations and to be more successful. That leads us into July 4th. This is just a big celebration for independence in the U.S. I also think this is going to be a highly contentious time. I think there's going to be a lot of energies that are going to try to manipulate, skew the American kind of patriotism and individuality and kind of this independence, and it's just something for you to be mindful going through this time frame, as many of us in the U.S. here celebrate our independence, right? Being who we are, standing up for our rights, standing up what makes us free in this country. Another synchronicity or gateway for us to be mindful of is going to be July 7th, 777. This is going to be a high energy gateway, and perhaps more truths are going to spontaneously pop out around this time frame. People consider this to be a lucky number. I kind of think that this is going to be one of those things it's going to be lucky in the sense that you're going to find, maybe through mishaps, whatever, certain truths about yourself that need to come out that will lead you into a much better path going forward. That leads us into July 9th. The last quarter moon in Aries. This is all about clearing out and new initiatives to be picked up, more energies to release and to see things for what they really are. Moving yourself to a higher vibration as the sevens move through and look for higher consciousness and truth. That's going to happen, and that's going to really kick on around the 9th as we move into July 10th, which is when Mars moves into Virgo. High energy, pushing to get things done. You may want to reorganize. You're going to want to try to keep busy. You're going to be working on your projects, finding balance, and new order in your life is going to be kind of emphasized around this time frame. That leads us into July 11th, which is Mercury enters Leo. Creative ideas coming to you, more energy to focus on your projects and the creative projects and your passions. You're going to enjoy the fun side of things, the things that perk your interest, the things that make you excited, all right? Make your heart sing. So follow your heart, follow what inspires you, given the fact that you're going to be clearing out a lot of the old stuff, seeing the truth of what transpired, seeing what doesn't work for you, and you're going to be hopefully following along the things that make you happy, taking initiatives on those creative path to be yourself, to find yourself in a better alignment going forward. All right, July 17th, new moon in Cancer. This is going to bring your focus into the home life and family matters, remodeling, moving, events with families, gathering with your families, new projects that help the household and help you feel emotionally cared for, or as well caring for compassionately for your family, and hopefully kind of focus relationships within the close-knit in the household. July 22nd, we're going to see Venus go into retrograde into Leo. This is going to be tough kind of movement because you're going to have some difficulty expressing some love and affection with your relationship. So this could lead to a lack of connection in your heart and your partner in close relationships, and you're going to start to question your things, and you're going to have to be more creative on how you get your needs met around this time frame. Because also at the same time, Sun goes into Leo, and that highlights creativity, love, and affection during Leo season. But the retrograde is going to make it come with some challenges. So trying to find these healthy, positive ways to express your creative energy, to express your love and affection, where you normally find it is those normal pathways that you find are going to be, I guess, a little bit farther removed, which means that you're not going to be able to have this outward expression of it. And that means you're going to have to go inward a little bit to understand what's going on with you and why you're being so, I would say, I guess, wanting to get out and get love from other people. All right. The 25th of July, we're going to have the first quarter moon in Scorpio. That means more transformations that lead to healthy adjustments, focusing on your changes and shifts, focusing on the things that are going through transformations in your life, and really leaning into what is needed for you going forward. And then we go into Mercury enters Virgo, being more productive and more clarity on the 28th of July. So those are the astrology events that's aiding the numerology. Here are some of the themes that are playing out between the numerology, between the astrology events, and what Spirit has been telling me that's going to play out for a lot of you this month in July. Okay, so because of the numerology of the sevens and the esoteric energies will be focused on this month. So the higher energies are going to be focused on this month. We're really going to be called to be able to see and read and hear the subtle energies. You're going to need to go a little bit more inward so that you can stand within your own power and trust your intuition in a very more silent way, right? Not so much on the external, but more on the internal, reflecting, looking through what is transpiring in the external world, material world, and filtering it through your internal energetic system to see what is right for you and what is not right for you, right? This is like bringing attention to the moon side of you, not the sun side of you, but the moon side of you, the unseen energies that require your ability to discern, to see things from more than what they are at the surface level. So how can you be more patient this month? How can you be more quiet as you filter through the noise of the physical material world to see what is being really presented to you as a creator being during this month, and what truths are coming up that's requiring you to shift things out and to clear things out so you can move yourself into a more balanced and higher timeline with more love, joy, and compassion and truth for you going forward. Also, how can you spend more time being rather than doing, right? How can you spend more time being and honoring what is going on with you inside rather than to distract yourself externally on the outside? That plays along with a lot of that retrograde in Venus and retrograde in Leo, because you're not going to get that your needs met via the external and what you normally get through your relationships in terms of love and affection. You're going to have to go inward a little bit and then find some creative ways to get those needs met for you as you go forward. So feeling what is right for you through your emotions, what feels right in your gut, what feels right in your heart, rather than logically thinking things out and trying to do things in a masculine way. This is all about a time frame, about questioning yourself. This isn't about so much answers. It's about questioning. What are the questions? What are the right questions to be asking yourself this month as you try to find balance, as you try to find more joy and peace and see the truth that are coming up in your reality. All right. The other theme that's coming up here, there is asking obviously a maturity in your emotional body, holding the healthy divine feminine energy through this time period, especially as we move through Cancer season and the numerologies of the seven. We're going to see lots of motherly figures, I think, stepping up and holding the household in order. That's going to require a certain level of maturity in the divine feminine energies and the motherly beings out there, especially since we're in the summer months and kids are home from school, and for the most part mothers are going to be the ones that need to be uber aware of themselves as they're taking care of the kids around the house. And the high energies that are going to be picked up this month could really reflect some things for the divine feminine energies out there about what needs to be shifted, what needs to be changed, what boundaries needs to come about, because kids, family life, busyness, collective energies, as well as what's happening in the family dynamic are going to test you. It's going to push you. And so be careful not to take on too much here, and that you end up because you may end up finding yourself being like the victim and being defensive and snippy because you're dealing with the household and all the other family dynamics out there, and you haven't given yourself enough time to work through, like I said, emotionally on the internal aspect to see what's going on, because the external pieces aren't, those normal pathways for you to feel love and affection aren't going to be there as much, or are going to be slightly removed as we go forward, leaving you feeling like a little bit empty in terms of that space being filled. So another thing I felt through that energy is I feel like there's going to be like this generational events where mothers of different generations, like, so, you know, if you're a new mom, you're going to have your mom and then your grandmother, kind of like this generational gathering. A lot of events in that kind of construct where things could get a little testy and arguments could come up, especially in the divine feminine energy and emotionally through these different generations. So we're talking about perhaps some lineage and some beliefs or some emotional thing being played out because the different generational families and mothers are coming together, and that could test people's beliefs and how they do things. So be mindful of that as we go forward in the month of June. All right. Another theme is that decisions need to be made. Decisions need to be made. And I spoke about this not long ago about regarding balance. People are looking for balance in their life. Balance, balance, balance. And that they're sitting in limbo. And the universe is calling forth saying you cannot sit in limbo anymore. And the universe is looking for a decision to be made. The longer you sit in limbo, the more intense both of these polarized aspects of you are going to feel, and you're going to be forced to make a decision, especially with the sevens coming up and with this astrology coming up. The universe is forcing you to make a decision, and there is no good or bad around it. It's kind of like, listen, we can't move forward in the balance that you want unless you make a decision about what you want to do going forward. And your mind and your emotions are definitely polarized through this position right here. You're being tugged in both sides of this world, and you're going to feel both sides of this world, and it's going to be very intense. And the universe is saying you need to make a decision, especially if you're looking for balance. The number, this numerology, astrology are all going to push you to see the truth, and you're going to finally say, okay, I need to make a decision. And this month, you're going to see the truth of what is causing you pain, what is causing you resistance, and it may force your hand a little bit, but that definitely is going to be beneficial for you as you move through this month, because it's going to help you find balance as you move forward. Definitely the duality is going to be playing out here, and you're going to see both sides of this, and how you perceive your situation will become more apparent as you go through this month. So this could show up in your close relationships, a job, or a situation, but it feels more or less more around kind of inwardly towards your personal self, right? Within you, with your beliefs, what kind of responsibilities that you've taken on, what kind of stuff you brought onto your plate, and what needs to be changed so you can find balance in your life. What roles no longer you say no to, what roles you say no to, and you say, I'm going to hold my boundaries as I go forward. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to cut someone out of your life, etc. It just means that you yourself have to change your inner beliefs and your perspective so you can find more balance as you move forward. All right. The next theme of the month is that I think some of you are going to hit, or are about to hit rock bottom, or are hitting rock bottom in terms of your own reality. This month is going to show you that it's time for you to start to look up, right? You'll see the truth come up because of the numerology and the astrology that's coming up. And what that means is that what you are destined to feel, what you are destined to see, is what needs to change. And that usually comes when you hit rock bottom. You finally said, enough is enough. I can't take this anymore. I finally see what is going on, and you're going to be forced to, you're going to say, oh, I finally hit rock bottom, and I'm going to start looking upwards. So there's no more like this dramatic outcries like, woe is me, I do everything for everyone. And you'll start to see the folly of your action, and you'll start to realize that this is the time frame for you to start moving on. Like I said in the previous energy theme, decisions need to be made. And through that decision, you're going to experience kind of this rock bottom part, and the bad habits that you have you're going to see that need to be changed because you're no longer allowing yourself to go any further or go any lower in vibration. Like it's like the last straw on the camel's back. It's going to break for some of you, and you're gonna do that, and it's going to move you towards a more prosperous, joyful time. It's like the balancing act no longer works, and the balls that you are juggling just can't stay up in the air, and ultimately you're just going to end up losing all the balls. So how are you perpetuating the drama in your life? How are you contributing to it energetically, vibrationally? What are your thoughts? What are your behaviors? What emotions aren't you feeling that are causing you to create, perpetuating these realities in your life? And why do you do these things to yourselves as you go forward? Those are the questioning things that we need to ask us, especially with regards to some of you moving to this rock bottom kind of the after effects of having a tower event, if you will. All right. The shadowy aspect of this month is that with these high energies this month, with the numerology, with the astrology, many of you could end up becoming overly clingy and dependent on others, but you may find that extremely difficult as some of your relationships, the external aspects of relationships, mirror back kind of this, I would say, disconnection or feel more distant to you, leaving you to feel internally the yucky stuff you don't want to feel. And the metaphor I want to use is this idea of trying to hug this like porcupine, right? You want to hug this porcupine, whatever it is at your relationship, something that you hold dear to you. You want to hug and love it, even in a sense of control, if you look at this. But the needles, the more you're trying to hug and tight and try to maintain control or find love from it, the needles are going to only cause you pain and suffering as you try to squeeze tighter, all right? Sort of like that image, but with the idea of your home life, your relationships, with all those things being very consuming this month, that you may feel yourself a little empty, and that emptiness has this feeling or this anxiety within you that you don't want to feel, this ugliness that's going to start coming up, and you're going to distract yourself in behaviors that probably aren't the best for you. So that normally when we want you to be kind of more domestic, more loving, more patient outwardly, more compassionate, you could find yourself very irritable, very emotionally imbalanced, very clingy, impatient. You become myopic on yourself and self-centered, and there may end up being some trust issues as you go through this month. So, again, like I talked about, this is all about questioning yourself if you're going through this month and if you're feeling these things. You got to start asking yourself, like, are you taking tangible steps? What steps are you taking? What tangible steps are you taking to improve your life or to find balance? What practices do you have in place to help you see inward, to spend some time to filter through the things that are occurring with you? And do you have the resources that you need to move through obstacles in your life? And it's okay as well to ask for help and not to be, I would say, over-reliant on this kind of traumatic response where I can do it myself kind of thing. You can ask for help. So I think the higher energies as we move through this month, a lot of the truths are coming up. The mastery of the 7-7, the astrologies are all going to force the lower vibrational beliefs, the lower vibrational energies within you to come to the surface. And that is going to force your hand to make a decision to find the balance of which you've been asking for, of which you've been wanting. But this is going to show you a pathway in a very catalytic way. And it's going to force change. It's going to force you to find balance. It's going to force you to go through some of these difficult situations, which could be rock bottom for many of you, so that you can start saying, I no longer want the drama. I no longer want these bad behaviors, to see the truth about yourself and to move yourself in a much better place as you go forward. So I hope that energy update helps you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I love you, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.